Hey, what's up, everyone? Back for this Wednesday slate. We got an 11-game slate today. Hope you guys all had a good Tuesday of NBA. It was a great day for Draftkings. Scored a 341.5. Posted the updated cores on Twitter like I always do. And they were solid with Paul, Levine, Gallo, Aldridge, DeJounte Murray, and Lonnie Walker. So looking to keep it going today, heading closer and closer to the break. Not looking forward to it, but will be nice to get a couple days off. And I will probably try some other sports during that time. But yeah, just looking ahead to this slate, and then tomorrow is just a 2-gamer, and then we'll be back in a week for NBA. But let's get into it. You can drop a like down below, subscribe if you have not already. You can check out the website if you want. Links in description. And let's get started here. At point guard, the two guys at the top are Luka and Trae Young that I'm looking at. Not really looking at LeBron. Going into Denver, if Luka's not on a minutes limit, then he would be a great play at 10-9. Trae Young's fine at 10-4. Like, that's not ever a price tag I get really excited about, but against the Cavs, he looks good. But I'm looking at some cheaper options like Spencer Dinwiddie, 78, looks great. Kyrie's out again. Bledsoe looks amazing. Fox looks great. And Murray looks fine, 7K. LeVert in a bounce-back spot. Looks great. 66, just had a bad shooting game, but I expect him to get back on track here against a team that he just dropped 51. Now he's facing them at home. And then Rozier at 61 looks good too. All things considered, I'm really liking Bledsoe at 77. I like the pricing Draftkings did. I'm happy that they raised these prices on Bledsoe and Middleton, just because a lot of people will not play them. It will get them at lower ownership. And the rates are still off the charts without Giannis, who's taken another day off. 1.51 fantasy points per minute in 300-plus minutes for Bledsoe without Giannis. 1.47 for Middleton. Usage rate increases crazy. 9% for Bledsoe, 5% for Middleton. They're just completely different players. And they're still priced like too underpriced for those rates. So give me Bledsoe. At shooting guard, it's Dinwiddie, 78. Devin Booker at 84. Both of them look good. Rozier looks good at 6,100. And that's kind of it. This position isn't super deep. If you want to go with some cheap plays, you got Oladipo, 48. Barrett, if he ever gets more minutes, he will be a good play at 45. I just don't know why they're keeping him at 21, 22 minutes. This position right now isn't super deep. Hopefully things will open up throughout the day. You also got Wiggins, looks fine. But right now I kind of like Rozier. He's only 6,100. It's a great matchup against Minnesota. This team has been struggling a lot offensively lately, but it's still a spot where I don't mind going to him. It's as cheap as price tag he's been in a long time, so you got that going for you. You also got the great matchup and a guy that does have 40-point upside whenever he does get hot, so Rozier is definitely worth a shot. A small forward, I like the price tag on Middleton at 88. Still will think that will drive people away, but it makes me want to play him even more just because get him at lower ownership. Definitely has triple-double upside. When Giannis missed time in the past, he dropped some triple-doubles. He did it last year or 2 years ago. He's just a really, really good player, really, really good shooter. The matchup is tough, but he did drop 52, and that was with Giannis, I believe, against the Magic, so tough matchups aren't going to really affect him that much. For an offense like Milwaukee, they are just ridiculously good. LeVert at 66, another guy that I have a lot of interest in, as I mentioned. And then, not a lot here. They did a good job of pricing up like Crowder. And I'm not interested in any of these other Mavs players with Luka Doncic back. Not paying $6K for Tim Hardaway or $5+ for Finney Smith. If Kevin Love is out, then Porter would be fine at 43. Osman would get more minutes, and will get more usage. But really, just give me Chris Middleton. I'm just going to play him. And power forward, it's another spot where they priced up some guys. No interest really in Sabonis or Collins. Siakam, a little bit of interest if Ibaka misses. Randall, I have some interest just based on the matchup against Washington. And then you kind of get into some players with some question marks here, like Oubre came off the bench, only got 27 minutes. Didn't play well, but don't know if that he played off the bench because he violated some team rule. Don't know if that's just going to be a one-game thing. I assume so, but it's going to be a little bit risky to trust him, even though the matchup's great. I would say Jaren Jackson looks good. Anytime you get a guy matched up against Carmelo Anthony defense, that's going to be a spot where I want to look to. And Bielitsa, with all the injuries still on the Kings, his minutes are very secure. It's a great spot against a Dallas team that does like to shoot threes a lot. It's going to be a fast pace. It's going to be a not really fast pace, but they play at a decent pace, so it's a fine spot. A guy that is getting like 32 to 34 minutes plus, like getting 34 to 37. 32 was in a 20-point blowout, which I believe he didn't see any minutes or saw very minimal minutes in the fourth quarter. Over at center, it's Drummond. If Drummond could be viable. Cat looks great at 10-5 at the top against Charlotte. And then you get into like Hassan Whiteside looks good, 84. There's not a lot that looks great at this position, but I do like some guys that are cheap. Under 6K, I'm looking at Marquise Chris and Brook Lopez. And then you got Rui Hachimura at 51, looks good. And Ersan, you could play him at 48. And then same thing with Dedmon. And Wagner's been getting more minutes too. He's only 45. Could take a shot there. But right now I have some interest in Marquise Chris. I just don't think that people are really going to play him that much. He's been playing very well. It's a revenge spot for him going back to Phoenix. It's also just a spot where he's connected with Kai Bowman. Bowman's given him a lot of easy looks at the rim, especially in that Lakers game. It's also a spot where this Phoenix team is decimated up front, so he can crush. If Draymond happens to get some sort of like back spasms or some sort of like foot pain, and he gets ruled out for this game, then even more usage and production for Chris. But even if Draymond's in, his minutes are still not going anywhere at the 5. So Chris looks good. I definitely looks good at that spot. And then I would say LeVert. Just play LeVert. I'm going to play LeVert. Go back to him. I don't want to not play him and then have him go for a big score. I like the price tag. It's gone down. The matchup is fine. And he's at home. So that's what I'm looking for DraftKings. For Fanduel, it's really, really similar. The players that I like on both sites. Luka is a little bit easier to get to here on Fanduel. He's only 97. If he's in, that's a great spot. You also got Fox. That looks good. 8,200 for him. And Bledsoe is just a great play on Fanduel. 67 is too cheap. A guy that, as I showed you the rates, 1.51 points per minute without Giannis or George Hill out there. At shooting guard, it's D'Angelo Russell looks good at just 7,600. But when you got Chris Middleton at 72, he's going to be my first priority. And then all these guys are second priorities. Russell, Van Fleet, LeVert. I like LeVert a lot, 6,000. And then if you want to go cheap, there's not a lot. Like, they did price up Beasley. They priced up. You could take a shot on Barrett if you want, but yeah, it's just not really worth the risk. We definitely just love Chris Middleton. You got Graham there, 68. That looks good too. Over at small forward, it's Siakam, 84. Wiggins, 72. They're the two ones that I'm looking at pretty heavily. OG, man, he had his best game of his life. 55 fantasy points. That was without Ibaka. If Ibaka misses again, I'm still not really sure if I can pay this much for him, just because you never know what you're getting from him. He's always a very, very volatile player, but I hope that he gets him a lot of ownership today and just doesn't really play well, because that's what he's done for most of his career. But really, I think like Siakam looks great. 84. Great matchup against Brooklyn. Over at power forward, I like Randall at 86. He's fine in a matchup against Washington. Like, Sabonis is priced much better on FanDuel. That's an easier spot to get to. Sabonis, John Collins, way easier to get to. If Ibaka's in, 64, that looks good. Bielitsa at just 6,000 looks good. You got Hachimura at 5,000. That looks fine. And then Rondé Hollis Jefferson and Ilyasova both look fine. Jefferson only if Ibaka's out, obviously. Right now, I would say that going back to Ilyasova looks good. Personally, just because I only got 24 minutes, I really want to look at the rotation. But it also is a bigger team here against the Pacers. They play Turner and Sabonis alongside each other for a lot of the game, so it's not like they can just go small ball here. So I would say Ilyasova will get a lot more minutes today, probably get close to 30. And we've seen him in the past put up a huge score without Giannis, like these 39 and 42-point games. He definitely has the upside. If his ownership comes down, then that's going to be a spot to look at. And then over at center here, it's Drummond. No Drummond. It's Cat at 10-3. It's Whiteside. And then it's Chris, 58. I just feel like a Marquise Chris game, and Lopez too. But Chris, just getting the minutes. He's been great at the blocks lately. It's a great matchup against the Suns team. Plays super fast. They are decimated at the front with injuries in tough matchups against Miami and Lakers. He put up 36 and 47, and now it gets a very, very easy spot. We know he's always a good fantasy player. Just it's always a matter of getting the minutes for him, and now that he's starting to get the minutes, I think going to him looks pretty fine. So that's it for Wednesday. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You can drop a like if you enjoyed, and good luck today.